to poop.
It's a little late. We're started. But if you need to, we will wait for you.
No, it's okay. I'm kidding.
Hello, everybody. We are gathered here today by a company that I just found out about and started using, Kinetic Paintball. How are you guys doing? This is Rob and Ken. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good. You know, it's another day in the neighborhood of working from home, so no complaints.
It's funny that we were just talking about Ken being old as he's like sipping tea in like the fanciest china glass I've ever seen.
Hey, this is Polish pottery, my friend. It's my heritage.
Nothing but the finest, though. Nothing.
So where did Kinetic start? How did you guys meet?
We met in college. Yeah. Ken was going for his law degree. I was an undergrad, so we have some time between us. And we both played on the Temple Paintball team. And actually, Ken, you only played like a year, right? Or was it 2 years?
Yeah, because I had ankle surgery the first year, and then the second year I went abroad and then worked. So,
yeah.
Or third year I went.
He was too cool. He went to school in Oxford for when he
Whoa.
went abroad. Yeah.
So you're like a really smart guy.
I don't know about that. I was just a visiting student. I didn't get like a degree there. So.
Still at Oxford though. But yeah, so we went to college together. Played on Temple's paintball team. We did the first year that we played together. We did terribly. I was horrible. I was so bad. I was not good. Ken will tell you stories about me playing with him. It's not pretty. It wasn't until the next year where I kind of hit my stride and peaked in my playing years. But towards the end of my college experience, Ken was kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, he was fed up with a lot of things within paintball from a manufacturing standpoint. And just kind of put it upon himself and said, just like, I could do stuff better. Zero textile experience. Knows nothing about fabrics and sewing. Picked up his like grandmother's sewing machine and was just like, I could do this better. And he did. He did. He made a pair of pants for himself. Just put things in perspective. Ken, you're what, like 6'2"?
Yeah, 6'1".
6'1". I'm 5'8". Maybe 5'8 and a half on a good day. He made a pair of pants and went to put it on, and they fit me. Yeah. So very, very not sized correctly. I mean,
you were a little off.
They were like the freeze on me. They were like, I was starting a new trend.
Capri pants. Capri paintball pants. So are you the one that started the whole jogger trend?
You know what? I would say we did. I mean, KP1s were pretty slim. So
yeah. So I mean, but yeah. So he brought him. I think technically, Ken, you were an alumni at that point. I think you were already graduated because it was my senior year.
It was my first year out of law school. We started.
Yeah. So this is spring of 2016, an alumni day before the fall event. Before the spring event for NCPA Class A. He wore them there. I was like, my pants were kind of getting really tattered, and I was like, this is exactly what I want. I just want good functioning pants, all black. I don't want to be a super branded, logoed pair of pants. Like the GI glides were like the hot thing at the time, where you had like the giant GI logos on the thighs and whatnot. I tried them on. They fit me perfectly, and I wore them for the spring event, and then I wore them down at NCPA Nationals. And I love them. Go on.
I got them from you guys. I don't mean to cut you off, but I do like these pants are phenomenal pants, and I used them Saturday. Throw them to me. I brought them in here to show you. Like I put them to use. Like they're muddy as fuck. I was on my knees, like sliding around, and there's not a single rip, there's not a single tear, nothing, and they stayed on perfectly all day. You can ask him. I bragged about it for 6 hours the whole day. Like I had no problems. Usually my skinny ass has problems with the pants falling down and falling off, and there was no issues all day, and they were comfortable. I could take long strides comfortably. Like, it's not like shit was bunching up. Everything was where it was supposed to be. My knee pads and everything stayed in place. So like they're quality. And I like everybody that I played with, their only thing that they complained about was the thing that you wanted the most. And in paintball, like, it's all about that bright, at least in like speedball, everybody wants that bright colorfulness and like cool designs and stuff. But like whatever, I'm okay if it works.
Function over form.
If it works, I'll take all black any day, anyways. But they were like, oh, if they work that good, it's worth it to me. So props to you guys. You made a hell of a product.
Thank you.
That's
Actually,
version 20. If we're talking about how far we've come from
yeah,
to get to like that version.
yeah, it was.
We had a pair of pants before that called a KP1 that we sold, and that was like a slimmer cut. And then the KPS, which is the version you have, is kind of built on those principles of what we started. And basically, the original pants we designed were pretty straightforward, like pants. Like they had an outer seam, they had an inner seam, and then we basically, how I actually designed it was I took a pair of sweatpants and then drew on it how I wanted the paneling to work out, cut it up, and then that's how I made my first pattern. And then researched a bunch of fabrics about like what was stretchy, what was durable. Came across a couple fabrics on a few websites, bought a couple yards, and then put together the first pair of pants. And then from there, just slowly kind of actually simplified. Like Rob's first pair of pants had like 30 different pieces on it.
So many pieces.
Yeah, it was a ton of pieces. And it was like impossible to manufacture. Like you'd send that to a manufacturer, they'd be like, forget this, I'm not even going to touch it. And so we've been working really hard the entire time to reduce pieces every single version as much as possible. Because if you have less pieces, you have less seams, less tears, and also less seams, more stretch. So anytime you don't have a seam, that area of the pants is going to stretch better. So the KPS, which is kind of like the culmination of everything we learned for the last, 4 years we've been doing this.
Yeah,
to get to where we are now.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time coming. And actually, what's really funny is that you say that a lot of people want bright stuff. At the time that we made this, we were having a lot of people tell us, it's like, I don't want branding. Like, I want as minimal branding as possible. Like, I just want like a good functioning pair of pants. And that was us. That's how we went into the marketplace. Is like, you will know our stuff by just like seeing people in a pair of black pants. And that's how we're easily identified. It's definitely more of like a newer generation of like paintball player. Now they want like their own team custom pants because that was never a thing before.
Yeah, pants are a weird thing to have customized shoes. I feel like that's expensive as hell to begin with. Jerseys, you can slap some logos on and a team name on, no problem. And it's, $60-$70 for a jersey. But like team custom pants, I feel like that's like upwards of $200. Like, it's a bit pricey.
Now they're all coming from Pakistan now.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they're not that expensive.
That's how they get all the prices down. I mean, it's so cheap to manufacture in Pakistan. So they just have it go out there, they sublimate it in Pakistan, put it together, and ship it to your door for like what? Like $100, $120 now these days.
Maybe, depending on the jogger type. I mean, I can't tell you how many times like we've had manufacturers from overseas reach out to us, and especially Pakistan. It's like, yeah, we can make you this jogger. It's like, it's the Dizana jogger, it's the HK jogger, not the like the new playing joggers out of HK, like the TRKs or whatever, but just like they're like casual joggers, which is basically what Dizana was using.
Mm-hmm.
So making a custom designed pant like from like a team pant is easy because you just need to have the right fabric and then it's dye sublimating. It's the same process that you make a custom jersey, and then it's just like sewing it together. So it's not as hard as
think, but to get them at the price that you want. And then the reason why we can't sublimate our pants is because of the fabrics that we use. The fabrics that we use is what makes us such a great paint. You know what I mean? It depends. We get that question all the time. It's like, can we make this like a custom team paint? It's like, I could put your team logo like maybe on like the barrel swab covering. That's about it. But the reason why you like the pant is because of the other fabrics they use. They're just not made to be sublimated. And that's why like people, I mean, we know people that have like prototype pants from 5 years ago. They still wear them. Like the vast majority of people that we talk to, they don't wear out. There are a couple of people that I know is just like it doesn't matter what pant though that they wear. Like they just burn through like the knees and stuff.
Yeah.
But it comes down, it 100% comes down to like the materials that you're using. And like, if you want custom stuff that makes like cut for your team, like your team logo and stuff, like it's easier than you think. But there's a good chance that they just won't last.
So yeah, that's you're sacrificing the quality for the look of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because dye sublimation is a process that uses polyester. It basically like takes the dye from like a sheet of special paper and then superheats it and then it literally infuses into the polyester fabric and becomes permanent. You can't do that process with nylon, which is what we use. But the benefits of nylon is it's much more it's stronger, it's more abrasion resistant, and it's lighter than polyester. So that allows us to use fabrics where literally there are little strands of spandex woven or covered by nylon and like interwoven, and that's what gives it that stretch. You will not get the same quality of stretch fabrics if you use polyester. So that's why we stuck with nylon, and we're going to keep sticking with it because it just makes a better pant. It breathes better too. I just think the performance benefits are so much better than like switching to polyester.
Oh, absolutely. And like I say, I had no problems. I was comfortable. I wasn't sweating my ass off all day in my pants, and whereas back in the day when I used to play a lot, I had like contract killer pants and like the like you said, the knees were just trashed. And like the cuffs for where your feet are, like it would stretch out, and then I'm ruining the bottom of the pants. And like I said, the big thing for me is I don't want to be pulling up my pants every 30 seconds. And like the whole system that you guys have with the belt is miles ahead of any other pant I've ever worn.
Yeah. So I mean, I will say this, that like we thought of the concept for the belt on our own, but also we have seen it be used before within the industry. So it's probably going to be one of those things that for like a playing pant, it's probably going to catch on like a lot more. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, but currently, like in paintball fashion, like the jogger's the big thing. It was like 2 years ago that joggers really became like a huge thing, but it's also from streetwear. And the biggest from a fashion standpoint company is HK. So they're following streetwear trends, which is like, I mean, it makes sense. Absolutely. I've talked to people about it, and it's like, why wouldn't you follow it? People are buying Supreme and Bape and Palace and all that stuff, and like that's all joggers, like with the Yeezys, and what I mean, it just makes sense. So like, why not transfer that over into paintball, because that's what people normally wear. And from a manufacturing standpoint, at least from at the start, it was just like those typical like casual joggers. Now people like wearing those wherever. Like you say, it's like, oh, buy these, and it's like you go play in them, and you're sponsoring pro teams to play in them, which I've heard from a couple pro team. From a couple pro players that were no longer sponsored by HK. But it's like, dude, it was so hot because they were like the thick fleeced cotton. People were burning up on the fields. So, and I think that's how it evolved into, personally, I cannot confirm or deny this, but like that's how I think it evolved into like making the TRK pant. It's just like, how do we make joggers but make them more playing focused? You already have the base from a casual line. Now it's developing it a little. But I mean, HK does a great job with that, following like casual like apparel trends. Like they were first originally a paintball company, and now they are more of an apparel company than anything that does sporting equipment and paint. I mean, because they also own MetaThreads, which is like huge within gaming. I mean, they do so. I think a huge portion of their business is MetaThreads. I don't know if you've actually looked them up or seen it before.
What is it
called? But it's MetaThreads.
I've never looked it up.
Yeah, look it up. It's massive. I mean, and I think they really got into it because Cassidy Sanders, who used to be their main videographer for HK, he now shoots for the Cloud9, I think, like Counter-Strike team.
Wow.
So, I mean, he got out of paintball. He doesn't have to get shot anymore. Now he's like doing crazy work for Cloud9. But yeah, I mean,
I remember back in the day, HK was always kind of that like clout brand too. Like they had like the coolest shit, and like they've always kind of done that thing. But I've heard a lot of people complain about like their quality, but I have the diggers, and I haven't had any problems with them, but I have heard a lot of complaints about that. It's more show than
Do you have the new ones or the old ones?
the new ones.
Well, there you go. Yeah, the old ones were terrible.
Yeah, people
Like,
the souls were falling out of them.
Yep. Yep. So I mean, they did their homework. They were seeing problems, and they made updates. I mean, it's the Under Armour cleat that they rebranded. They didn't get it fully right the first time, and then they got it right. I mean, I haven't heard anything about the diggers. I mean, I still wear some. I buy Puma kangaroo skins. That's just me though. But yeah, I mean, everything. The vast majority of what they do is some sort of mimic of something else. I mean, their whole headband line, like the hostile wear, it's Sandana. It's Sandana, Flying Skull, and Snake Stripe. I mean, thank God for Mark Henry bringing back the Sandana brand and the Venom Wear brand. I'm super happy that he does it. But yeah, I mean, the vast majority of stuff that they do is not original, but they made their brand really cool. And that's how, I mean, especially if I honestly think if it wasn't for Cassidy Sanders and now David Kwitsky, who does all their media, HK would not be who they are today. But I mean, that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah, well, good branding makes a world of difference,
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping you guys can kind of take off too, because like I said, I love your products. And we were talking earlier about another product that you guys are going to start selling, and it's it's a pod pack. So explain to me, like, is it like a 4+3 or like, what's the rundown on this pod pack?
Yeah, so it's a little unique. It's actually a 6+5+2.
Oh, that's a fucking huge pod pack.
It looks big, but it's not. Because most people wear, if you ever notice, they'll wear their 4 and then their 6. They're always wearing 6 across or 8 across, regardless. But the problem is when you put the 4 on the two on both sides, those things bounce around like crazy and always pop open. So what we've done is we've just added on an extra, like, more solid pod holder so it doesn't bounce. And then we've snuck in an extra one in another part of the belt that you can either use or not use. But you won't even notice that 7 and 8 on the sides is even there unless you put a pod in it. So it's like really well hidden. Basically, though, the goal of the pod pack is to be completely modular. You can replace all the elastic on the pack. It uses a Tegris plate, which is a polycarbonate plastic that's then laser cut, and it's a bunch of Velcro on the back in a placard system, and you just run the pod loops through. Then you simply just stick it down onto the Velcro. There's a locking system underneath the Velcro that we're working on to make it real simple. And then there's molly loops on top of each of the pods, and then you put your second set of pod loops on. So you basically can replace everything, and then you can also replace the belt elastics as well. So once it burns out, because elastic's going to go in a year or two. Like it just is. That's how elastic is. You can't get around that problem. You can just replace that rather than spending on like another $80-$90 on a new pod pack.
Yeah, that's super nice that you're being. That's long-term shit that I feel like a lot of companies don't think about because they're just trying to make, this will last a year and then they'll just buy another one. And I think that speaks a lot as a company too, and like the type of people you are that's like, no, you don't have to buy a whole new one. Just buy this new section. And I think that's awesome.
I mean, we make stuff to last. I hate shit that goes bad. I mean, we've had pants that go for 3-4 years now. Like that. You're paying $165 for a pair of pants. Like, it should last.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'd be pissed if I bought a pair of pants and it goes in like 3 months. Like, it's just not acceptable. Not for that kind of money. Like, that's a lot of money for a pair of pants. So, especially when you can buy a pair of Dickies for $20 and they'll probably last almost as long. Like,
yeah, we're really big on that kind of stuff. Like I'll pay for something. I have no problem paying $200 for a pair of pants. But is that $200 pair of pants going to last and be able to put up with the abuse that it's going to take,
Yeah, no, exactly. That's how exactly I feel. And actually another cool thing about the pack too that I didn't mention, because we're using this thermoplastic, it basically acts as like a giant stiffener across the back, and it allows basically the pack to not bounce as much. Like it reduces the pack bounce, and then we've tied that with strategically placing the elastic in certain locations, so you're not going to get a lot of stretch. Because what I've noticed is I don't know why companies do this. They put all the elastic on the sides, like right on your hips, and so the minute that you put like 7 pods on there, it starts to bend backwards, and by the end of the day, the pod pack's ruined.
Yeah.
We were playing Two-Man in NXL. What was it? Was it like Atlantic City, Rob, when we played like the first time?
Oh my god, yeah. I'm so drunk. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's a journey.
I had like 15 pods on. I can't remember how.
Yeah, we were playing 10-man.
Yeah, but the thing like wouldn't stay still. Like I couldn't even run with it. It was bouncing so much. It was so uncomfortable. That's kind of what got my idea started about trying to like do a pack. And was it now 2-3 years later? I'm finally getting around to it.
So how long does it take you guys from, I mean, you just said 3 years for this one, but like, do you have an idea? And then how long does it take from that idea to get to a sellable item?
So, well, to start with the KP1s. So, the original prototype, which I don't even know where that is right now.
It's in my house.
It's in your house? Okay. I thought Jeff might have had it, but that was spring 2016. We delivered product January 2018. We delivered our first round of product from a Kickstarter January 2018. So about 2 years, and that was with the Kickstarter, and that was with like an initial prototype already done. That's not even like from the first thought is like I want to try this out. So I mean, now things are a little bit faster. We understand like what manufacturing means and how to do it. The goal is to have the pack out by next season. That's the goal. We'll see what happens. We're working pretty hard on it. Ken's doing an incredible job with it. And we're talking to a bunch of people inside and outside of paintball to see what we can make happen. But I mean, to do it right, and you can make a product and then just release it to the public, but we try to do some R&D first, in the sense of like, all right, we're gonna, at least for this pack, like Ken's pack that he made, it's probably gonna hit the field at least once, if not twice or 3 times a month, or like we'll let one of our sponsor teams like just hold on to it just to play it, just to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And it'll get kind of passed around between like back players, front players. How is it like when you dive in? Like we need the snake guy to have it on for like a couple points or a tournament to see how they like it and whatnot. Like give us feedback and stuff. So the turnaround time could be either really quick or really long, depending on how much you want to invest in like trying to get something right. It's the best way to make sense. Like to go from the KP1 to the KPS, I think what was that, like 6 months? 6 months to a year, something like that.
It takes once I've done my work. So I do all the samples in house first. It takes me about, I think the KPS will be about a year and a half. Because I started thinking about the idea almost the moment we came out with the KP1.
Yeah.
And then by the time we got to the manufacturing process, it was probably a year into it. So about a year and a half to get KPS down. The pack it's probably been about 2 years of on and off work, but I haven't been consistent about it. I finally found like a set amount of time to get my head down and really think about it. But I'm hoping it's only going to take 6 to 8 months to actually have a sellable product after that, because I've done so much of the work on the front end at this point, where I'm not going to have to worry about switching like sizing of like this size Velcro or this type Velcro. Like I know everything I want already, so it should make it a lot quicker.
Oh, that's good. I will be in line to buy that as soon as you guys are ready, because I love the pants so much. So you guys have definitely earned a good customer here. But I again, like, I think it's awesome too that you guys are willing to take that time, because like you said, you could just rush it out, but getting it right is more meaningful, you know. And I feel like paintball in itself is just, it's a really weird community, as in like everybody seems to know everybody somehow. And like you guys were bringing up fields that, we used to play at and stuff like that. And I think that's awesome. So I feel like that's such an important aspect to making a good company work in paintball, is having that relationship with people and making a quality product.
Yeah, it gets real small real fast when you're manufacturing.
Oh, super, super, super small. And you'll be surprised how small like, the, I guess, paintball manufacturing community is, and how many people we've talked to have met just about products and like where to make things and stuff like that. It gets real tight real quickly.
There's a lot of companies, we won't say who, but there's a lot of companies that like manufacture the same manufacturing locations.
Yeah.
Use the same people. So
yeah, there's like one guy that manufactures for like 3 or 4 companies.
That's not surprising in the slightest. It's the same thing. Cars do the same thing. Every industry has that kind of like one warehouse where they get everything from, and then they just slap different logos on it.
Yeah,
and that's like one thing why the pack took me so long to think about, because I don't want to just pop out a pack that has straps and looks like everyone else's. Like I want to do something unique and actually like something I think is an improvement over the current design. It's like I can't think of something that's not worth it for me to like move forward with it. So I feel like I finally got to a point where I feel comfortable selling this.
I feel like that's a good mentality to have though too, because if you can reinvent the wheel, but is it worth reinventing the wheel? Like, do you have an idea how to reinvent the wheel? And I mean, the only way to do it is try it. So hopefully, like, the pants worked out. So I have no doubt in my mind that this pod pack is going to work out.
See, pod pack's a different beast, man. It's hard. I mean, almost pants are kind of like at this point. I feel like in terms of like my growth as a designer, like I understand how to put a pair of pants together. And now, like I'm already working on other versions of pants and trying to like better understand how the KPS pattern works and how I can modify the pattern and change it to fit different ways or have even a better waistband. I'm already working on a new waistband on the side, so it's kind of like a process we were always learning a little bit, and you kind of build that experience. And so like the pack was something totally different. Like I've never done gear. It's something that's totally new. It's a different way of making patterns. It's a challenge. It's been a challenge to put it together. But at the same time, it's almost easier because if I fuck up, I can actually just easily take it apart compared to a pair of pants where if you fuck up and cut the pattern wrong, like you have to restart. So.
Yeah, that's definitely a nightmare.
Yeah,
so,
it sucks.
Do you guys have plans to do anything other like protective gear, as far as like slide shorts or like they have like the carbon, which is what I have. I wear under your guys' pants. I have like the carbon
base layer.
Yeah, whatever the hell they're called. And
yeah, I wear that too.
How do you like it?
How do you feel about those knee pads?
I like.
Go ahead, you first.
I like it. I like it in the sense that it's better than everything else out there.
I will agree with you on that.
Yeah.
It was very comfy. Everything stayed where it was supposed to, but I'm very, very heavy on my left knee. I also, like I play Snake and everything, so like I dive and I'm constantly on my knee. So I was thinking about doubling up just on my left side and like getting, another knee pad. But they're nice, but they're not as protective as I need them to be.
Yeah. That's the point of I've heard.
I got the new pair recently, and they didn't fit my knees very well. Like the pad, I actually tore out the pad. It's about this big. The actual foam pad, it's pretty small. So I tore it out and then stuffed my own pads in there. Because they didn't cover me at all. So I actually got like these like German motorcycle pads from like a long time ago. This guy sent me free samples, so I stuffed those in there and it worked. Now it fits perfectly.
There you go.
You should send a picture to Walker with it.
I'm going to talk to Walker when I see him in Philly and let him know what I did.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
because I looked at it, I was like, this is not going to protect me.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Which I don't know why. Like, do you have the new ones or the old ones?
I bought them the same day I bought your pants. So that was the first time I ever wore them too. So it's the newest.
Gray, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you flip them inside out, they cut slits in the neoprene, um, right by all the knees. You can actually get in another pad at the knees by slipping it through the neoprene. So like you can buy like D3O pads off the shelf, and if you need to have that extra padding, you can just shove it into your carbons. And if you really want to get technical, you can unstitch and take out the small little pad that they have in there, and then just shove a new one into that hole, and it'll hold perfectly.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that then. Thank you for that, because that'll definitely save my knee. I wasn't able to walk at all Sunday. I still have a giant knot on my knee, and it was bad. He was making fun of me. We were supposed to golf. Couldn't do it.
Actually, got the carbons right here. You can see how much bigger the pad is.
Oh, that's massive.
It's
Yeah,
an adult-sized knee pad.
that's definitely one way of putting it.
So,
But
when did you guys start paintballing? How long have you guys been paintballing?
I started playing competitively after World Cup 2009. I was in high school. Yeah, in high school, like a freshman in high school. There was like an indoor field by me in New Jersey called All Star Paintball. They were putting together like a young guns team, and I went out, tried out, made the team. There was like 6 kids trying out, so obviously definitely gonna make the team. But yeah, no, so that's what 12 years now, 11 years, something like that, 12 years. So played through high school, peaked in college, played a little bit post college, and now I do media. I shoot photos and stuff now. I monetize my hobby.
That's the best thing to do.
My girlfriend doesn't think so. I don't have fun anymore. I just go to work.
Yeah, my girlfriend, she's supportive, but she's like, you just talk to people. Yeah, we're trying. You know, I still have a day job. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely still have a day job. But yes, so 12 years. I think, Ken, didn't you start around the same time, maybe a little bit earlier? Didn't you play at like Captain Carl's or something?
It's 2004 competitively.
Oh, so you're
Yeah.
old school.
Yeah, he's old. He's
You
old.
weren't lying.
UPL, I played uncapped semi, 15 BPS, 13.3 BPS. I played it all. I never just played national. That's the only thing I didn't really do is national. But I played all the locals. That was fun. Back in the day with 15 or uncapped. Like, we need to go back to that.
Yeah, but
That is fucking annoys me so much.
We were at the field Saturday, and I forgot I set my ramp to like 20, and I was shooting, and the ref goes, "It seems like you're shooting pretty fast there. Like you're just pretty fast on the trigger, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'll just slow it down for you."
yeah, it'd be like that.
It was an accident. I didn't mean to.
It's like MPPL, right?
Yeah,
It's okay.
But
UPL was like semi, but it was really just like D-bounce 1, so you're basically like holding the trigger and it's just tapping off, like you're just bouncing it off the micro switch and it's just going like 18, 20, no problem.
So what made you guys want to get into paintball?
Um,
No, I can't even remember.
yeah,
Such a long
Yeah, no.
time
Yeah, it
ago.
was so long.
I know when he was a wee little lad. But my buddy who lived 2 doors down from me, his older brother was playing. Probably like 2005, 2006. He had like an evil Dominion or whatever gun, played at a local field by me, and I was really into it. My parents didn't let me play. It was really more my Jewish mother didn't want me to play. Just like don't be playing with guns. Don't do that thing. And then when I was in high school, my first time ever playing paintball was down at Hot Shots in Florida. I played woods ball there. And it was like the time where like Vipers were still really big. They still had their semi-pro team, like in PSPE. So like I watched them play. I was like, that's what I want to do. That looks awesome. And that's when I started playing competitively. It was like right after World Cup 09. So definitely started off in the woods. So.
Did you also start in the woods, Ken?
Yeah. Where was the first place I played? It was somewhere in Massachusetts. I want to say it was Fox 4.
Was it really? I've actually never played there. What's that? It sucks that closed. I hate that.
Yeah, might have been Fox 4. Or what's the other big one there?
Boston. Boston
Yes,
Maniard.
Fox 4 in Boston probably. That's where I played.
We were talking with a couple guys at Badlands over the weekend, and we were doing open play and practicing with the teams too. And like a lot of the open play people are brand new, and they were like, "Oh, we want to go play in the woods. We want to go play in the woods." And we're standing there like, "Motherfucker, I don't want to do that. Like, it's boring. It's not fast enough." And one of the guys was like, "Yeah, but like, where did you want to play when you first started?" I was like, "Yeah, all right, I did. I wanted to try the woods, but you see speedball and you see how fast and intense it is, and it's like, all right, I get
Check
it
it
now.
out.
I get it now. Let's do that instead."
Yeah, it's a good starting point.
Paintball. It's like the step up from woods ball, speedball is pretty high up, and then on top of it, and this is the problem I've always had with the sport, is once you get to that level of speedball, you need to find a team. You have to play tournaments. It's really hard to just walk on and pick up street ball. Like it just doesn't really exist. And it kind of burns people out pretty quickly because after a while you're gonna be not want to be spending all that money to like go to the tournaments and practice all the time. Like I'd rather that's why I don't play really anymore. I don't have time for tournaments. I don't have time to practice every Sunday. Like I just want to show up once a month, like pick up some games and walk home. But it's just not possible in a lot of places these days.
Yeah, well, and that's when we went to Badlands. The team practices had the airball field the whole day, and they were like, you can go ask them if you can play with them, but like that's on them. If you guys are stuck playing open play, if they don't want to let you. But thankfully, we looked cool enough and had good enough gear to persuade them to let us on. So
Yeah,
But,
it's definitely
Where you all
definitely
black pants. They knew you were legit.
yeah.
Real speedball players wear all black.
Yeah, and that's the craziest thing too, because I'm covered in colored tattoos and like I'm kind of flashy, but like when I go paintballing, the flashiest thing about me is my blue gun. Everything else is all black, so. But
Yeah, I'm like the flashy person possible, which is probably why I came up with those pants.
they work though. I was telling them like everybody was like, "Oh, you just bought black pants." I was like, Dale Earnhardt drove an all black car, and they called him the Intimidator. So like, yeah. I'm gonna wear all black pants.
Absolutely. Number 3 on the track, number 1 in our hearts.
Goddamn right.
Do it for Dale.
Raise hail, praise Dale.
Hell yeah. But anybody that plays, like I've definitely seen a lot of people, especially the better pants, it's like, oh, it's just all black pair of pants. It's like I don't know about it. Like when people get it in their hands, they're like, oh snap, this is very real. And like I've had multiple people come up. I shouldn't say that. Like I've had we've sponsored a semi-pro team. Like we have people play in all divisions wear our pants. Like, I mean, I've talked smack to some pro players about it. Just like I know my stuff is better than yours, than whatever you're wearing. And we've had actual pro players tell their siblings who played higher division D2 semi-pro teams. It's like, have you heard about this company? They make sick gear, but I can't wear it because I'm tied to a sponsorship.
Yeah.
It happened. Yeah, it happens all the time. As soon as we've had the conversation about trying to sponsor a pro team, it takes a lot of money, and like you got to give up a lot. Like you're talking at least 40 grand plus like free gear, most likely. And that's not on top of the gear that you give them to like sell. Like pro players get like 40 jerseys a season just to sell. That's not even stuff that they play in, which is wild. But the fact that like if I have like a D2 or a semi-pro team that's like I'm already linked up with GI or like whatever these big companies are, just like they come to us and like they choose us. They choose us because we make a good product. Like we've had people that were about to be brand ambassadors, just like I want to wear your stuff, but I can't because I want to go play for the semi-pro team because my end goal is to go play pro. But I wear your pants during practice. You know what I mean? Like
That's crazy. That's so wild. But I get it though
Yeah.
too, because they have to, abide by the rules of the team and wear it, But God, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the brand that people want to have, but they can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I've literally walked up to people who's like, I saw you in my pants like at practice past weekend, but I gotta go wear Vulcan pants at the event because that's who our paint sponsor. Like it happens all the time, and it's really really funny when that happens. And I walk around like I mean, it kind of sucks that they're not wearing our stuff like at the event, but like I know deep down in the heart they paid whatever because it's like I gotta buy these pants to get my paint deal. Like I gotta make sure that I have paint at the event.
Yeah.
But like I wear like I have my daily drivers also.
Yeah. Well, I
And I
think
mean-
that's perfect. That's literally the best thing you can say about these pants is like they really are like the daily drivers. Like,
Oh yeah. I mean we have people that buy 2 pair of pants so that they have a practice pair of pants and they have an event pair.
that's
Like,
that's perfect.
Oh yeah, like we've had people buy 4 or 5 pairs of pants because like I just want more, which is ridiculous. It's unheard of.
We've had one person like a washing machine ate his pants and he bought another pair immediately. He's
Yeah.
bought like 5 pairs of pants already from us.
Yeah, retail price like unbelievable, and just like I would not have expected this.
Yeah.
Um,
I will do the same thing when I start messing mine up too. Like absolutely.
Thank you.
They're great pants. And he wants them, but he's concerned because he wears size fat. And I told him, you guys work with that kind of stuff.
yeah,
What's your waist size, bud?
I have no clue.
that's that's a starting point that you probably gonna want to figure out.
But
once you're there-
right around 40, 42-ish.
Oh, we got you.
Oh,
Yeah,
we can
that's right.
fit you easily, no problem.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that's an XL.
Look at that.
Yeah.
If
See?
you need it, we can go all
Okay,
the way
because
up
I
to
have a 3X pants and they don't fit. Like, I mean, granted, I don't even know. They're 2008, 2000, I don't know, somewhere around there. But
We can go up to a 46 comfortably. That's
Okay.
kind of like the max. So, honestly, like, you grab a pair, they don't fit, send them back. Like, no problem.
Just don't blame. Just don't blame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't plan.
Yeah. I can't tell. Yeah, we've had people like that. It's like I played in them this past weekend. They didn't really fit right. It's like I switch them out for a different pair. It's like no.
Yeah, we have like, the
You played
pants
it.
came in, they're like 4 inches too short. I plated them. Can I change them out? And I'm like,
Yep.
sorry, man.
I
Gotta
do find
tell
it.
you
I do find it kind of weird, but I guess like you don't really wear jeans or anything. But like, I find it weird that people like don't know their like size. Why don't you know
So,
your
it's
size?
not everyone,
because I'm not fancy.
not everyone's fault because sometimes, depending on the brand, the inseam on your jean is not actually the true measurement. I haven't figured out how they get the number, but it is off some kind of point on like what's called a sloper, which is basically a graded version of every size in the pattern, and they basically pick a point, and that's how they measure.
Thank you,
the
man.
So some people's inseam might actually be like a 26, but their pants say it's a 31, so they'll pick the 31 and it comes out like way too long.
Really?
So that was an issue we have at times. We used to actually have people measure themselves on the outside of their leg, but so many people were messing that up, it was just creating more work. So
Oh my god, it's a nightmare.
I'm kind of like damned if I do, damned if I don't at this point with sizing. So just kind of let it ride, and hopefully every time I send it off, I just say a little prayer that it doesn't come back.
Just hope for the best. Yeah, mine fit perfect, so I have no issues at all.
Yeah, the user generated sizing is absolutely it's terrifying. I don't understand why it's so hard to read a measuring tape, but apparently it's the most difficult thing in the world. That's a story for another time.
And it's funny you bring that up too, because we both used to work at the same steel mill, and we'd use a lot of tape measures, and we'd have to train new people, and we'd be like, "Do you know how to use a tape measure?"
Give me 21 foot 6 inches and 5/16, and they would look at you like you were stupid, and you got to be within a 16th tolerance. Like, they were
Yeah.
like, what? Yeah, I'll learn to read a tape measure. What did you think this job was?
It's like learning how to read a ruler. It's just longer. I don't understand why this is an issue. You know what? It is.
That's the third line over half, which is like, come on now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's simple stuff like that I feel like a lot of people just evade now. So
Yeah, absolutely. They want make it even more simple. Make it do it for you. But for those that
do their own stuff, which is kind of the sad thing. Like I almost wish there would be like a community in paintball where people make their own gear more. Like I wish that was like a thing. Like you don't really see that. Like I don't know if you guys are into like the firearms community, but if you ever go look on like Instagram for firearms, like there are so many little like small shop sewers that like make gear for like bulletproof vests or
Oh,
like
yeah.
little pouch magazines, and it's really cool to see that. It's just people like picking up a sewing machine and getting started.
Yeah.
I wish we could see that in the paintball community. I'm actually hoping that like our pack, because it's so modular, it actually encourages people to be like, how can I take your design and then add something to it that I need personally. So that's kind of like one of my like goals on the side is someone actually like takes my design and runs with it a little bit more and modifies it to their own needs.
That'd be cool, because then it's like a customizable pack for whatever they want to do as well.
Yeah, I mean
fits them better.
it's a simple placard system with Molly. I mean you can put anything you want on it now.
Yeah. So if you want to put a drink holder.
Yeah. You want a $130 drink holder, sure.
Hey, I mean, you gotta have a loot for your beer when you play 10 man. Absolutely.
That's that hidden inner loop I was telling you guys about earlier. It's really the beer loop.
So how much you guys have been in it for a while? So do you think the paintball community is gotten better? You know, like has it?
It's gotten younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I first got into it, like the vast majority of people were all like mid to late 20s, early 30s, and now people like they're getting kids into it younger. You're seeing a lot of young kids at tournaments and stuff, and you can see it in like branding and stuff. Like HK, like they play to with their style and their apparel and everything like that. Because they know like these are the people that are going to be the future of paintball, and it's like a really marketing strategy. You know what I mean? Appeal to the people that are likely to be playing.
Yeah.
So like that's something that I see. Like I see like young kids. Like I was just at a tournament down in South Carolina. I saw like 12-year-olds playing D14. You know what I mean? Like it's more and more common. I also felt really bad for those 12-year-olds because my friends destroyed them. But yeah, like it's definitely younger, and then like you'll see a lot of the older players playing like mechanical. They're playing 10 man. It's like the World Cup of Woods Ball just happened to be up. Yeah, I think about all American sport. But like if you go look at those rosters, especially like ICC out in Pittsburgh or ICPL, you'll see legends coming out. They're like 40 or 50, and you're just like, I am from like the 2001 like World Cup champions like Billy Saransky, like the old Ironman, like Rusty Glaze is playing. I mean, he's not that old, but like that generation of player, like you'll see all these legends at Woods Ball and mechanics. And it's really crazy how like mechanical paintball has come back with like such a strong full force, and it's definitely, in my opinion, all because of Tim Montrose. He's a legend. Like when he made ICC and like that first ICC, like, it is the only singular event that's not part of a series that sells out in under 5 minutes.
That's crazy.
There's like 102 teams sign up in under 5 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It is nuts. But it's like all these pro players come out. Like, so it's open class.
Yeah, we noticed that too, like getting back into the sport, how big mechanical everything is. Like they sell mechanical frames for the guns now and all that stuff, and how big it is. It's kind of crazy, but it's pretty cool though. It's just another variation that you can get involved into the sport. I think that's awesome.
It's also more cost efficient, which is like another big thing. So now like going to a mechanical event, like yeah, you're gonna have a big paint bill because it's 10 man. But at the same time, the rate of fire is like 5.5 balls per second. So now, like, you're going to end up using a lot of paint, but not really. In the grand scheme of things, like if you're playing 10 man at NXL, like on Sunday, people are bringing out crazy ton of paint, but most of it is the leftover paint from them playing X-Ball, playing 5. You know what I mean? So that's why like the paint bill isn't too much for that. But like if you like, there's a good chance I'll be playing 10-man in Philly, but like most of those guys, like we're just like a bunch of Temple alumni just going out to go play. Like we're only playing 10-man, so we're buying cases for 10-man. So, but yeah, the nice thing that's the great thing about it. It's like it's so much cheaper now. It's like going to an event, like you'll have like a bunch of teams like being real serious about it, but then you'll also have like you'll have your beer league team. Like we're there to party. You know what I mean? We got beer pong going on. You played like what, like 8 points a day or 10 points and like prelims for the first day before you go to playoffs the next day because matches points are super long for like 6-minute points or whatever because it's 10-man in the woods or hyper pipe. But yeah, like it's way more of a relaxed setting. And like I don't know if you guys have ever been to an NXL or PSP event.
Yeah,
but
we've
if you
been to a couple PSP events.
Yeah, go to NXL. It's going back to Chicago, of course, Chicago, and just like get a pass. Like go to see what 10-man is like, and you'll see like there are cases and cases and cases on album, and just like people just having a good time. Just like I don't even care how. Like as soon as you see that you're doing well, it's like all right, guys, let's sober up a little bit. Like we have a chance of winning this right now. Let's try to win.
Get it together,
like,
guys.
Yeah, pretty much. But like but it's also cool. You'll see like a lot of pros that get knocked out. Like my buddy on the my friends, they play for the Washington Winstons. It's like a bunch of guys from Wolfpack. Some of the Heat guys are playing because they're friends from like 8, 9, 10 years ago before they even played pro. Like Nico was playing. He used to play for VCK, but they're like all division. They came up in divisional picks, but some of them they made it. But it's just like a really awesome vibe because like people don't really care how they do until it's like, oh man, we made it into playoffs. Let's get it together. And it's just meant to go be fun paintball. And that's something that I really like about it. Like you need that competitiveness sometimes, but like at times there's just like how Ken says, like I just want to go play. I'm in the same position. Like whenever I can't play for a team because I'm doing photos and stuff and working. So like for me to go to a field, it's just like I'm trying to run points. Like I'm asking all my friends, like, hey, can I run with you? Like especially like if it's a weekend before or 2 weeks before events, like I won't even go to the field. It's not even worth it. I know I'm not getting playing time. I'm not gonna be able to hop on with anybody because everybody's getting ready for the event.
Yeah.
So like
favors. It's never like set up to like make it easy. And that's I guess that's like a problem I see with speedball. It's like someone's got to figure out a way to make it easy for people like Rob and I, because there's a lot of people out there that are like us that have like finances that can pay to play, but they don't have the time because of the time commitments required by the community and the sport. Like someone needs to figure out a way how to capture those people, like to bring them back into the fold and let them play like once a week or like one match. Like, you know, like I got 2 kids, I have a full-time job. I don't have time to stay at the field for 7 hours every day, every Sunday. Like that's a huge amount of time. I have shit to get done around the house. Like someone needs to figure out how to make it like 1 hour. You get a ton of playing time because let's be honest, you're probably playing a max 1 hour in those 7 hours you spent at the field. Like if you counted all that time, like most of it's shooting the shit. So like if you can just figure out how to like squeeze it down and someone really organizes it, I think you'd make a lot of money.
Well, I know fields around here too. Like Badlands only has one like mini field. Like it's a mini speedball field. So like there's really nothing for us. Like and we can only, like you said, we have jobs and responsibilities. So we have Saturdays and Sundays to go, and we usually go Saturdays because we're old and out of shape, so we can have Sunday to relax. But that whole Sunday is taken up by teams. Understandable though, because they need to practice. But like I don't want to go play woods ball with a 14-year-old.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. So no, it's an interesting dichotomy. So, but it is what it is. It's still fun and like.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
it's a great community to be involved in. Everybody that like even at the field is awesome. And most of the guys too, they're really cool. If you go up and talk to them, they'll let you play with them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, just as long as it's not like the weekend before an event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
I don't know.
cool.
I don't know how many leagues are up by you guys, but like at least in New Jersey, there's a league in Connecticut, there's 2 leagues in New Jersey, and yeah, so there's like events during the season going all the time. People are always getting ready to go play tournament, whether it's for what. So it's just a nightmare trying to like get time to go play with my friends because they're like going from one league, they're playing a different. One group of friends is playing one league, another group of friends is playing the other league, another group of friends playing this other league, and then it's like NXL happens, and now like everybody's like getting ready to play NXL, but really like 4 teams at the field out of like 10 or 15 teams are actually going to NXL. Like it's really really funny, and but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to go play D5 somehow. Trying to sandbag so hard.
You get to 5 real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually reached out to the
NRLP.
yeah, true. I reached out to the event promoter for CPS out down in South Carolina. I was like, can I get reclassed to play D5? Is that a thing? I'm a photographer. I played like 2 events in the past 2 years. So like, can you do this? And he said, it's like, no, it's modified rules. Nobody reclassed to D4 since I'm still ranked D3. You can't play D5. I was like,
That's
To get re-ranked.
yeah. I mean, taking pictures of people that play D5 just kind of hurts sometimes because they're so new. You know what I mean? It's not like really cool, but like that's why I like to go take pictures of D4. It is the second tournament that I saw somebody that used to play pro playing D4. It was ridiculous.
So
Like-
how big to you is the difference between each division? Like
Oh.
skill wise, like astronomical.
If you're talking about local and nationally, so D3 locally. Okay, we'll start locally. So like D5, the skill level between D5 and D4, pretty large. Just from the sheer fact of like field awareness, communication, like the intangibles, like some fundamentals. If you're talking about like the top of D5 to the bottom of D4. And then going from D4 to D3, like locally, depending on the region, like they could be kind of close. Like the difference in California, where like WCPPL is, so like if you go to like MSXL or MBPS, like it's going to be pretty big. But if you go to like some sort of like local league, like Outback OPS that's in Connecticut, or like they can't even put a D3 event together in New Jersey because not enough teams are signing up. Same thing with like Maryland. Like it's not like crazy big. When you get to the national level, like that's when you start seeing like big jumps. Like the top level in D4 versus the top level in D5, the top level D4 versus top level in D3, like it's a pretty big jump. Like it's very large. And then like as you kind of go up, like you'll see a huge difference. Like, dude, go to NXL in Chicago and go watch like those fields. And like I can even tell you like a couple teams to go watch personally. Like these are guys like they are at the top of like this division most likely, and you'll see like you'll watch like semi-pro versus like even D2. You'll be like things just move quick. Like the cohesion of everybody on the field, it's just like it's definitely people moving together and not like individually, which is like the biggest thing.
Yeah, it's crazy how much it feels like you're alone. Like I don't know how to explain it properly, but you're kind of alone. Whereas in like you're shooting someone's shooting at you, but like you said, like there's that communication that comes into play. There's a guy across the field that you can't even see that's shooting at you, just waiting for you to stick your hopper out, and he's gonna tag your hopper. And like it's so crazy when you start getting that field awareness and realize like even on small fields, like, oh shit, this field is a lot bigger than I thought it was, because there's people everywhere. I don't know if they're shooting at me, but like these people see them, and it's just, I love paintball. It's such an adrenaline rush, and it's such that, especially speedball, because it's not quick rounds or anything. So like you're playing maybe 3-4 minutes, but it feels like a lifetime while you're playing, because you're just it's just so much pressure all at once.
Did you ever play
Yeah.
7-man?
We usually stuck to 5, man.
7-man always felt forever.
7-man
You had,
takes
like
forever.
such specific jobs in 7-man. You're like, this is my zone, and that was like it.
I mean, that's paintball now, though, and like, and you can talk to a couple people now. Like paintball at like the higher divisions, it's stupid now. It's holding zones. You're like a lot of times you're not even shooting at a person. You're shooting at a gap. Like you're just like I don't need like I just don't want this person to go through. And like that's the biggest thing. Like as you progress, you'll see like lower divisions. Like I'm shooting at somebody. I really want to get this person. But like as you get up higher and higher, it's like I don't even need to shoot at this guy. I'm just gonna shoot the zone, like the in between the next two bunkers. Because I know like he's gonna think that I'm not shooting at him because he's not feeling the paint on him. And like I just rolled off the bunker and I'm shooting the next zone so that he's gonna go and he's gonna run right in my zone. That's how I'm gonna get killed. So now it's just like a waiting game, like to see which team makes mistakes first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird trying to practice too.
Yeah.
Like trying to practice for that's impossible because it's so expensive.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, you can't wasting
practice
paint.
Yeah, you're not wasting paint. You're holding the zone, and it's critical to hold that zone.
Yeah.
Try to get someone sleeping. Like you try to, vary your shots, put them in different locations. Because like a good player is going to look to the left and see the lane coming before he even moves. Like have good field awareness. You can always look ahead. And God, I remember one time I was playing 7-man. I was playing against it was Lift. Remember Lift, Rob?
Yeah, I mean most of those guys now play Wolfpack.
Yeah, okay, so it was against Lift, and the guy, he put me in, I adjusted my zone to like just literally like 6 inches to the right, because that's what you do. Like he pushed me in, so I keep the zone, but he can't see me anymore, so I have the zone. And I see him scurry across and then immediately stop and run back to the bunker because the moment he put me in, tried to make the move, but he saw that lane coming and stepped back. Like that's the kind of field awareness these guys have at the semi-pro level. Like
That's crazy.
he knew he saw the first ball coming before it even left my barrel at that point. Like he saw me move and adjust, and he was already back in the bunker.
And serious semi-pro teams and stuff. Like since I was in South Carolina, like I was talking to this, really more like overhearing like some of the Carolina Crisis guys, which like higher level semi-pro team. Like this season so far, it's not it. They just finished the first major event at NXL. In practice, they've as a team have already shot 7 skids. A skid is 126 cases of paint.
Holy shit.
Yeah, like when you get to the higher levels, like the amount of volume, because now it's like I one drilling and then practicing, and you're playing against good teams and stuff, like, but you have to practice how you play. So like if you play like holding zones and you play learning how to play defense, like you need to, like I can't go out with 4 pods and hold zones with only 4 pods and like play how I'm actually gonna play a tournament. Like I need to go out with like 8 or 9 pods every single time, every single weekend. Like that's the big, like it's such a luxury sport in the sense that like if you want to go pro, like and you see the higher level pro teams, they all have massive budgets. And actually somebody that you really want to talk to that's really interesting is like Jeff Stein. He runs the New England Hurricanes. He runs his team on a very limited budget. Like all the top teams, like Texas teams, like they shoot so much paint. Like the guys that just made the AC Dallas team that used to play for Paintball Fit, they were practicing like a pro team shooting. They played 4 days a week shooting like probably a half a skid almost between like 4 or 5 guys.
That's insanity.
Yeah, but that's it. That's how you get good.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? And you'll talk to anybody. If you have the budget for it, you can get anybody to be good at paintball. You can pick up the field awareness. You can start playing better teams and stuff. Like you could get good. Like that's the toughest thing on getting good is like, do you have the budget to go play all the time?
Yeah.
That's actually my theory why, like, if you look at pros, it's basically the same pros for the last 10 years. Like, same teams that are pros that have been pro for 10, 20 years that are still really good. It's because the experience gap is so hard to meet in paintball. Like, they have decades of experience playing and practicing that it's so hard to meet that. It's not like in any other sport where, like, in basketball, players slow down and get old, and then the young guy can come up and actually beat them. Like in paintball, you don't need to be the most athletic player if you're just good and know what to do. So like
Yeah.
that experience level those guys have, it's almost an insurmountable gap in a way. Like it makes it almost impossible for them for like a young up and coming player to really get to that next level. If you look at pro teams that actually like become or semi pro teams that become pro teams, they're not like blowing up the pro division anytime soon.
Because
ACDs is doing really well. But they've been
AC
practicing.
did really well, and AC Dallas did really well. Those are the
Well,
two.
also, AC Diesel's been practicing like a routine in semi. And
Right.
was also used to play. You know what I mean? But that's a whole different story. But on top of that, guys, I just finished making dinner. I'm super hungry, so I do have to leave.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Sorry,
We've been going for an hour anyway, so, we thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to come and talk to us. I learned a shit ton about paintball in the
Yeah,
last
more.
fucking hour. So, thank you guys. I'm look forward to more products from you. I'll be sure to let everyone know I wear Kinetic pants if anybody asks, too. So, thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you. Like, super appreciate it. Like, we love doing stuff like this and just like talking about our product and talking about like our process and like just chatting about paintball and like our opinions on things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if we don't really get to talk about it too much because Ken has a life with his family and then like usually working doing photos, so like can't talk to so many people when I'm behind the camera. But yeah, dude, like we'd love to hear your feedback. Just like we know that you like them, but like if you have anything like any ideas, like I can't tell you how many times like we've taken ideas from people and just like this is really good. Like I wonder if we can incorporate this.
Really,
Yeah,
Try to make a better product.
like I
on the
said,
fly.
the only complaint that I don't have any complaints. I like the all black. The only complaint that I heard from my friends were like they're not flashy enough. But you explained why they're not flashy enough. So like I'm not. That's not even feedback. You know what I mean? But I love the pants. They're great. I'm excited. As soon as you guys get the pod pack out, maybe we should have you back on and we can talk some more shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Ken knows this. I love talking shit. I'll talk shit on people all the time, especially like when it comes to gear, because I know like what we have, people make.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you go enjoy dinner. I think we're going to eat as well because he's starving, and he doesn't
See it in his eyes.
Yeah, he doesn't get fed very well, if you couldn't tell.
No. He doesn't know his waist size. He doesn't get fit well.
Alrighty, guys. Well, you guys have a great night. Thank you for coming out.
No
You
problem.
too. Absolutely, man. You good.
Bye.
All right.
Later.